The following show may cause you to think differently. Welcome to Sing Out Loud with Ella Glasgow, the show where we highlight people who are doing just that. From authors to coaches to artists and everyone in between, the guests on this show have found a way to push past their fears and truly live life out loud. And through their stories and service to the world, are encouraging you to do the same. Our featured guest today is author Alysia Seymour. And on the artist stage, young actor and singer Alessandro Gabrielli. And I'm your host, Ella Glasgow, and it's time for you to sing out loud. Hello and welcome to this next episode of Sing Out Loud. I'm Ella Glasgow, your vocal impact expert, helping creative entrepreneurs to own the power of their own voice. And on today's episode, I am so excited. We're going on a bit of a field trip. But first up, I have my friend Alysia Seymour, who is an author doing some really creative things. She doesn't write for the regular books that you may be used to. She works with entrepreneurs who need to get a book out, but she's doing it in a very unique way. I cannot wait for you to see and hear what I'm talking about. All right, let's go on in. Meet Alysia Seymour.
I am so excited that you are here. Alysia Seymour. I like to say your name, Alysia.
Yeah, and you pronounce it right from the bat. That's amazing.
I try.
Yeah.
Hooked on Phonics did work for me. So, so Alysia, you are a writer and you are helping business owners, corporate people, entrepreneurs to write books, but you're not doing it in the traditional way of writing a business book. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I started first as a fiction writer. That's when my whole entrepreneurial mind started to set in. And I then, went through some years of struggle trying to figure it out. And when I finally realized what I was doing in my fiction writing, and I wrote this book that was all about my journey, and it really helped me define my message and get clear on what I can offer other people, and also a lot of personal growth as well. And so when I discovered this, I said, I want to help other people do this. And it took me a little while, trial and error, to figure out that the creative entrepreneur are the ones that really resonate with this. And I've worked with a few of them already who you actually rewrite your life story through a fictional lens. So meaning for an entrepreneur, it's going to start with the pivotal moment that kickstarted you on your journey to create your business, right? Most of us have started a business based on a place of struggle or something difficult we had to overcome, or, we wanted to make a better life for ourselves. Mm-hmm. And that's where we started deciding, okay, how can I build this and help other people overcome the same thing, right? And so that's where this comes in, is that by rewriting your life through a fictional lens, you take yourself out of the picture a bit. You get to see yourself and your story through an objective perspective, so you're not so hard on yourself. And it really just gives you a whole new insight on your journey and your story, how much you have to offer your audience or your clients, and how to get really clear on that message, even more so than you already are.
Right. I think that's so incredibly cool. And I have not heard of books being written in this way. I'm sure that they have. I think about those books that have those distinct stories to tell about. There's a book that I can't remember right now, of course, as I'm sitting here talking. All of the books that I'm thinking about have in my head. Yeah. But they use that fictional premise to help teach a real world example. Mm-hmm. So when you're talking to these business owners and you're pulling this story out of them, what's their first impression of being able to write their story in this fictional way. I imagine it's kind of liberating, especially if it's something that was difficult.
Yeah, it really is, because the first step is really nailing down the pivotal moment, right? So it's really starts off with this kind of deep inward look at yourself and your journey. And so it's almost like a form of therapy in the beginning, because people can just talk it out and like journal it out. And but yeah, I have had my clients get really excited off the bat, like, wow, this is going to be a lot of fun. Like, I never thought of doing it this way, but it makes so much sense now that I'm getting started with it. So yeah, I do see that excitement.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome. And I know that you gave us a little bit of your background, that you were a fictional writer. But how did you actually, what even got you started in fictional writing in the first place?
Yeah, that was, that's probably goes back into this deep, dark place of my life of, I was around, I can't remember the exact age. I was in my early 20s, and I was just kind of confused on life. I was at a job that I hated. It was draining my energy. And I had just had my first baby. And so I grew up an only child, so I didn't know what was going to change becoming a mother and having a little one in my life. And so that was kind of hard on me, the initial adjustment to becoming a mother. So I kind of slipped into a little bit of a depression, and I turned to books a lot to just kind of escape, and I remember reading the first book in the Hunger Games series, and just feeling so empowered by Katniss's story, because I was like, wow, she's making me feel so much better, and like making me think of all the things I could do to improve myself right now. And it just clicked for me in that moment where I said, these stories do that for me. I want to write something and be able to do this for other people. Right. So I wanted to write a story that would change people's lives like these books were changing my life. And that's how I got into writing my first fiction novel.
What was your first fiction novel?
It's called The Raven Dreams, and it was like a fantasy, new adult fantasy, about a girl basically who is struggling. She doesn't know where she fits in. She is a magical being, so she's connected to the earth. They have these powers that they can use, and she comes to discover basically what's like the human world, and has to face down a dark enemy over there. And it's just really this hero's journey of her figuring out who she is on the inside, but also finding her strength on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just one more. At the time, I didn't realize that I was like rewriting my life. I didn't know I was doing it. I just wrote it at that time as like this desperate need. It was my way to get through it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. If that was your story that you were rewriting as that fictional character into that book.
It was. I just didn't realize it until I looked back on it, because I have a second novel that's just going through the last stages of edits right now. And it was in that novel that I realized what I was doing as I was doing it. And so that's when this whole message started for me of the power of fiction to not only like heal and impact you in your personal life, but to grow your business and get more clarity on how you really impact the people that you serve.
Yeah. I agree with you 135%. That's my husband's favorite thing when people say like over 100%, because he's like, there's
right.
no more. So yeah. I agree with you 135%.
Good.
When it comes to the impact that our messages have. As a vocal impact expert, I feel that you and I have a lot in common in the fact that we are helping people to get their stories out there and get them out there in a way that is the most interesting and engaging for the audience that's listening to them. Yeah. So I think that that's amazing. So I know that you are a big believer in people knowing that their story matters. And again, that's something that you and I completely agree on. And I stand behind that 100%. So why do you feel that people think that their story doesn't matter?
Well, I know for me, it was all about just a lot of self-worth issues. I didn't think I was worthy of pretty much anything, let alone sharing my story and thinking that it could help anybody. Because I'm like, well, I haven't really done anything amazing. I haven't really, changed any drastic things in my life. Why would people care what I have to say?
Yeah.
But again,
you were kind of like me in the sense of you felt kind of stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not cool enough to like have somebody in your life, not poor enough, in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that thing where you feel like your life is good. I mean, there's nothing terribly bad about it, but it's just like, I don't know, I felt empty and there was a void in there. So I didn't have the courage to speak out and share this stuff. And I think a lot of us, especially if we're just starting out on the entrepreneurial journey, can be feeling a lot of that because the confidence isn't yet there because you're just getting started. It can be overwhelming. And like, who am I to do this is always the thing.
Yeah. But who are we not? Who are we not to do it? And that's the thing that I always love to remind people of when I'm working with them at any level. Who are you not to share your story? Because I think that's what's really cool about what it is that you're doing with the book. It helps to kind of remove the, not that you don't want it to be personal, but it helps remove that sting of telling the story that maybe you thought wasn't good enough to be told when it's somebody else's story and you actually have somebody read it back to you. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that was pretty cool.
That's exactly it. And like having a separate character who is you, but still separate from you, go through this journey, it helps you really see like, wow, I really did all of that. But then too, it can also help your readers more easily put themselves in the hero's shoes to say like, I can do this too, because it is kind of that fictional sense of it's separate, even though it's really connected to you. And the other thing too is, aside from writing a business book this way, which is, I'm just in love with that journey, is the brand video scripts. It's a much shorter way of the same thing, but you're still you're communicating in the video.
That's cool. I love the idea of the video scripts. And man, I wish we could talk about everything. Oh God. Okay, before we head into break, for those of you that have watched the show before, you know that I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm not going to leave you with Alysia just being gone. But we have some people that want to perform for us on the artist stage. We're going to give them that opportunity, and then I'll be back with Alysia. But Alysia, before we head into the artist stage, where can people find out more about you and what it is that you're doing?
Yeah, so pretty much everything is on my website. It's alysiaseymour.com. Awesome. I'm also on Instagram with _Alysia Seymour.
All right, great. You guys can see that her website is down there, but I just wanted to point it out to you that you can reach out to her at alysiaseymour.com and at what was that on Instagram?
_Alysia Seymour.
_Alysia Seymour. Awesome. Yeah. We're going to head over to the artist stage.
Okay, guys, I told you that we're going on a field trip. We're going on a field trip because, you know what? I thought today I might as well go to one of my favorite places, the bookstore. And we're going to see if we can find some of my favorite books, some books that I recommend to my clients for various things. And I'll show you some of my absolute faves. Here we go.
teach every bug, insect, and larva for making fun of my stink. Making me sit outside of the classroom as a child. For making fun of me and calling me names like Squeaky Cheeks. Oh no. Stinky Dink. Oh no, this one's even worse. Odor of a lonely heart.
My name's Perry.
What's yours?
Stephanie Eggfoot. Dr. Stephanie Eggfoot.
Well, Dr. Eggfoot, welcome to the Amazon. Boy, we haven't had a doctor in years.
He was pretty bland.
What was that? I said, isn't the weather grand?
That's Sissy. That is the place. The train station you was talking about. Just a few months since before we reach it.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, ce monde peut vous sembler long, mais pour les plus ambitieux, mais dites de haut et fort vous semblerait prodigieux. Supercalifragilistic,
Supercalifragilistic.
supercalif.
And we are back. Thank you so much for sharing your fantastic talent with us on the artist stage. And once again, if you want to find out where to find them, their information is going to be shown again in the credits if you missed it right after their performance. And we're back with Alysia. Hello.
I'm back.
So, Alysia, this is the part of the show where I ask all of my guests 3 very specific questions. And
Okay.
I told you that I was going to ask you 3 questions beforehand, but I also told you that I wasn't going to tell you what the 3 questions are. So,
Yes. Elements of surprise, yes. I'm ready.
for those of you that have watched the show before, you know what the questions are, but Alysia hasn't seen this part of the show just yet, so she's a complete newbie.
Yes.
So my very first question for you, this is really simple and easy, but it's my favorite part of the show, and it's called, What's Your Fave? And I want to know, what is your favorite color?
That's easy, yes. My favorite color is purple.
Yes!
Yeah. I figured we might be the same on that one.
I know, we have so many things in common.
Yeah. I really do.
I love that. I love that. Purple is awesome. I think purple is great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even I have purple in my hair. I love it so much.
Oh, that's so
You really can't
cool.
see it very well unless I'm in the sunshine.
Oh, no, that's super cool. One time I put like this burgundy red in my hair, not real color, just like that stuff that washes out in like 2 washes, just to make myself feel fabulous. This was when I was much younger. I want to do it again, but it's a hassle with curly hair.
It's a lot of fun to play with colors, yeah.
It is fun. Well, you look super cool, and I'm
Thank
jealous
you.
of your hair. Okay, so this next question, we're going to go in the completely opposite direction.
Okay.
Put your thinking caps on.
I'm
So
ready.
when you are the wonderful age of 97 years old and you're sitting on the front porch of your house in your amazing rocking chair, what do you hope to look back on your life at having achieved?
Okay. There's so many things. So to pick one, I think the biggest one for me is to be able to have the memories of traveling to different areas of the world. And that would all be possible because of my business, of course. But yeah, I want to go to New Zealand and Ireland and England, especially, all three. So to be able to have those memories up here, to be able to just daydream about is probably one of the biggest for me.
I've been to New Zealand and it's freaking amazing.
Yeah, I know a girl who lives there, and we're like, I have a pen pal thing, and she'll send me photos sometimes and keep telling me to come visit. It's just, I need to step up and make the time for it.
Yes.
So.
It looks exactly like pictures. Like the whole of New Zealand is itself a picture.
Yeah.
That's what I have decided. And even the grass that grows like beyond waist high in someone's yard that's overgrown looks beautiful. I don't understand how they do it.
It's incredible. The whole reason I want to do it is because they filmed Lord of the Rings there, and I'm huge. That's my nerdism right there, is Lord of the Rings. And they have the Shire still set up, the set of the Shire. So I want to
I thought there was going to be a hobbit that was going to pop out from any corner, from any part of New Zealand. They didn't, but that's what I felt like.
Yeah. Well, it's fun. It's just fun to experience that sensation, I'm sure.
It's so cool. It's so cool. That's awesome. I think I'm excited to watch your journey with your business, to see when you go to New Zealand.
Mm-hmm. I'll definitely be posting. There'll be pictures.
Okay, so here's the last question.
Okay.
If you could leave our audience with one word, what would it be and why?
Okay. The one word would be magic, because I'm very much, as I've said already, into fiction and fantasy, and I believe magic exists in our real world, not on the level of, Harry Potter or anything, but in its little nuances. And you just need to open up to that magic and experience it, let it in, and that's when everything else starts to come together in your personal and in your business life.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Now, God, do you believe in magic?
Yeah.
I love that so much. That is so wonderful. Thank you so much for being with me here on the show today, Alysia. And everybody, go and check out Alysia at alysiaseymour.com. Like we said, it's right down there. You can see her website address is right down there on the screen. Go and check her out. And if you want to know how you can also share your story vocally, then come and visit me at yourvoicesuccess.com, and we'll talk about how you can share the message that you get from Alysia and share that actually with your vocal words, so that that story is something that everyone can't wait to hear and wait to see. It has been amazing. Alysia, I told you before that there's a particular way that I sign off. So we're going to throw up our deuces, because this is what you and I are doing every day. Throw up the fear. And we are encouraging you. Yes, we are encouraging you to do the same. Throw up your deuces to fear. And you guys know how I do. I got stuff to do. You got stuff to do. Now go give your dreams a kick in the pants. We'll see you next time. Bye.
It's too messy, right? That's a good word.
I'm gonna live it all.